May 2019 sounded like this.
Morning, Bob. It's Mark here. Friday morning, and what time is it? 7:15, and I'm flogging myself on the steepest hill around here called the Grind.
Saturday morning, the 4th of May. It's 10:35, and I got up and went for a run this morning.
Morning, Bob. It's Tim. It's May Day weekend. It's Sunday morning, about 7:30, and I'm doing my best to keep fit with my little boy in tow.
But in May 2020, we weren't running.
Yeah, like in Italy. Yeah, we were supposed to go.
We were doing a bloody Zoom quiz, like everyone else in the world.
Okay, question 6.
I'll spare you my painfully niche and obscure
You need
questions.
to listen to this. So, which one of my favourite films from the 1990s is this very important life lesson from?
Honey, I'm thirsty.
The answer was White Men Can't Jump, by the way. But here are 3 Bob Graham-related questions from Beanie and Giles. Listen carefully, answers at the end.
I think you BGR people must know this one. Right. So I've got 4 choices for you about how high is Scarfell Pike in metres. Ooh, Nick, so metres. Hey, what if I use the wrong unit of measure? Yeah. Okay, is it 1,085? Is it 978? Is it 993? Or is it 981?
How long did it take Kilian to get from the Moot Hall to the summit of Skiddaw? Was it A, 41 minutes, B, 46 minutes, C, 51 minutes, or D, 56 minutes? Okay, this is on to a friend of the podcast. How long did it take Ricky Gates to complete his Bob Graham round? Was it A, 22 hours 18 minutes, B, 22 hours 48 minutes, C, 23 hours 18 minutes, or D, 23 hours 48 minutes?
Hi, and welcome to our podcast about the Bob Graham Round. A 66-ish mile run in the Lake District up and over 42 of England's tallest mountains in under 24 hours. Recorded throughout 2018 and 2019, this is an audio account of a year preparing for and attempting the BGR. These are our Bob Graham sounds. So, hello everyone. I hope you're keeping well, staying safe and staying sane despite trying to replicate Lake District fell running with 437 laps of your driveway and stepladder in the home counties.
The red light's on, is that?
Yeah, it'll go off in a minute.
As we're all stuck inside our homes, how about we have a bit of nostalgic backing track? This is the pub atmosphere from the King's Arms, Keswick, just after we'd finished our Bob Graham round last summer. Aww, you can almost taste the pint I failed to finish, can't you? Now, as I rushed to finish the final episode of the podcast series, I had no idea how important that rush would turn out to be. Shortly after uploading the last episode, me and the family had to self-isolate for a fortnight. My daughter had COVID symptoms, and I've not been able to do any podcast making ever since. After a couple of days of coughing with the kids, my other one's a little bit under the weather. They didn't display many COVID-like signs, though, to be honest. My wife Jo had the virus more certainly, I think, although we haven't been tested, so it's a guess. Nothing too serious, but I seemed to remain untouched. Or maybe I had it and was asymptomatic. Maybe I'm just superhuman. Oh, here's the bit where I bail the pub early.
I'm going to head back and go to sleep.
I don't think you can sleep.
Beanie walks me back to the guest house, where my broken shell of a body has a short shower, and then I get to bed. So, in our isolation, I ran every day for a couple of weeks until I had to go back to work. I'm a local radio producer, so that counts as a key worker. I know. Now I've returned to cycling as my commute, which is just as well, because I've not actually been running since I went out for a blast last Saturday at the end of a long day in the house. Let's just say I had cobwebs to blow away, and I loved it a bit too much. It was low tide, there was hard, packed sand, there was no people, the weather was cooling down early evening, but it was still sunny, and I just ran and ran, finding all the off-road trails and paths that I know, so I could meander my way around the edge of Langston Harbour. And I ran quite hard, imagining in my head that I was US mountain runner Anton Krupicka, because I'd been watching the film Unbreakable about the 2010 Western States 100-mile race. Gabor from our team had shared on our WhatsApp group the link. After about an hour and a half, I realised I wasn't Anton Krupicka, and I hobbled home with a pulled calf muscle, and I've not run since.
Finally finished Unbreakable. What a race. Love Krupicka's running style.
It's a classic. I have managed to watch half of it, in several attempts. Unfortunately, I get interrupted by my lovely family saying, "You are watching another running video, can we have the TV now?"
I got a big eye roll from Jo when she joined me for the second half after a Zoom chat with her friends. Her first comment as Anton Krupicka was on screen topless at the time was, "Oh dear, is he your new bromance?" Answer equals yes, of course. Eyes looking up and to the side emoji.
So anyway, I'm cycling and I'm at work, and while I'm there, my wife Jo and all the kids are at home, and it's all a bit weird, just like it is for everyone. I haven't got much time to spare, so this is not a polished podcast, but observant listeners may have noticed that I'd suggested the grand finale sequence of the series proper would be a trilogy, and so far I've only delivered 2 parts of that triple bill. So, here's some more nostalgic audio to start and enjoy whilst I get going. This is the sound of a Lake District hotel at breakfast time.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you. You alright?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Oh, remember Lake District hotels at breakfast time?
Well done.
Oh, thank you. Oh, feeling alright, yeah. I'm hobbling, but not too painful a way.
So this is the Sunday morning after the attempt, when I'd had that shower and a much needed deep sleep.
Yeah, you alright? Sore feet. Yeah, my feet are a bit black and blue, I think.
Hopefully, this lovely guest house in particular, Haukeld, and all the others in Keswick and around the lakes will survive this rather barren patch of no tourism, and we can all return to enjoy the tinkle of teacups and the taste of a full English breakfast soon. Vegan options obviously being available. Then we can hit the hills for a long day in the fells once again. Thank you all for listening to the podcast series and reviewing, tweeting, emailing to say that you've enjoyed it. The feedback's been unanimously positive and overwhelmingly lovely, so thank you ever so much. None more enthusiastically than everyone's favourite, especially mine, running coach, movement analyst, biomechanics expert and hippie in equal measure, Helen Hall. So this was her slightly emotional response to the penultimate episode as we were building up to the midnight departure and I was getting my mantra embedded in my mind.
Goodness. Eat regularly, drink regularly, and keep going, and going, and going, and going. And that's the pledge. Goosebumps all over, heart in the throat. Incredible. Loving it.
And then here's a taste of Helen's reaction to the actual final episode.
I can barely speak. Sobbing as I walk the last little bit with the dog and so grateful to be in the woods and nobody can see me. So yesterday's dog walk was the beginning of the final episode, and then just done the final episode. And
I won't play anymore, it wouldn't be fair, but I think it's safe to say Helen was quite invested in the series, and if you were too and you shed a tear about our exploits, then thank you ever so much. I'm touched that you cared. Mark, team leader, enjoyed the experience of being in a podcast.
First of all, I suppose I don't want to break the fourth wall, but it is a bit weird having listened to a few of the podcasts, obviously, when you realise that you prefer your voice being, or your words being transmitted by a Welsh robot to your own actual tones.
But there you go. I'm stuck with them.
Some of his other musings seem very outdated now, as we can't actually travel anywhere.
You know, it's not really that important what the event is, to be honest. To me, it's more just having something to plan and look at maps and think about how you're going to navigate and look at the place, you know, where you're going and what the, you know, how you learn about that and learn about the history of the event, or maybe the history just of the place. It's just, you know, kind of, I love having something to think about and look forward to, and that's all sort of kicked off again.
As do my reflections from Waterloo Station at the end of the attempt weekend. It seems like a time capsule from a different era. We could use trains back then. We could eat packet sandwiches off our laps in crowded carriages.
Gradually re-entering normal life. Now London Waterloo on the train down to the south coast, having travelled down from Penrith to Euston on a nice fast train.
Society, have mercy on me. I hope you're not angry if I disagree. Society, crazy indeed. I hope you're not lonely without me.
Tim has had a difficult time of late, and he's recorded some lovely reflections recently after sad news that was inextricably linked to his own Bob Graham attempt.
So a really big reason for the Bob Graham round becoming such a family affair for the Hale group and the Owens group, so Carly, my wife's family, was that in the May of 2018, Carly's mum Linda was diagnosed with breast cancer. For the second time in her life. She'd faced it and fought it over 10 years ago, but was now going to have to face that again. And we did briefly think about kind of parking the attempt to just focus on family over that summer. But actually, we decided to continue. One thing that was really nice about it was that I was able to fundraise and run for Linda, run for her chosen charity, cancer research, raised over £3,500, and that every donation, the whole family just took heart from. It was. And the whole thing took on a bigger meaning. It was a wonderful distraction from Linda's treatment and the prospect of that treatment, and it meant that Linda, Carly, and I could go to the lakes together, with baby Harvey, and that was. They were some really special times. And then, when it got really difficult, I know that I had definitely given up for myself at one point on leg 4. I wasn't. It was just too much for me. But then there was a pathway back to the attempt by thinking about all of the donations that had been made, the promises that I'd made to all the people that had donated, and all of my supporters as well. And I'd said that, you know, even if I don't get round in 24 hours, I'll just try and, you know, do my best to get round the thing and kind of honour Linda and you know, honour all those people that had donated, and that just helped me keep back, helped me keep going. And I think, you know, that there was, if there is, yeah, a message that that I can take away from that, it was that, you know, you can do more. You know, you can find more resources within yourself when you are doing it for other people, and that that to me was, you know, a really important lesson, you know, and something that I do cherish from the round. Okay, Bob, so just to continue my reflections on family, so I had a huge family support group there, and I think you've listed out some of them on an earlier episode of the podcast, but just to give the group their full recognition. So I had Carly's two sisters, Laurie and Jodie, and Laurie, very much the commander-in-chief of the support crew. Her partner, Beanie, another Beanie, a different Beanie to our Beanie. My mum, Carly's mum, Linda, my sister Catherine, my sister-in-law Sean, Patrick's wife, my nephew Oscar, who I stole a prawn sandwich from at Wasdale. Sorry for that, Oscar, but I very definitely paid for it on the way up Barrow. And then, of course, I had Carly, who was, you know, a huge support throughout the training and on the day, and then Harvey, who was my absolute source of inspiration. You know, carried a picture of him all the way round, and that's a very treasured memento. So that's why it felt like such a family affair. Now, we've talked a lot. A lot of the contributors have talked about the friendship that grew out of the Bob Graham round, and that's absolutely true for me. I know, Bob, it was part of your mantra, and I think that mantra was a wonderful way of approaching the round mentally, as well as the more practical just keep going. But I think for me, I was so fortunate that whereas for most people, the kind of Bob Graham takes you away from family, for me it really brought my family a lot closer, and to have so many of my family there on the day was just incredible. And to have Patrick drafted in at late notice, I was a bit mean to Patrick because he's a climber, and I initially wanted to draft him in to help with broad stand, because I was trying to shave off 20 minutes or so for a shortcut up broad stand, so I was hoping to rely on his climbing expertise, and then realised probably a bit too late that wasn't going to work. Logistically it was going to just be too complicated, and so I asked him to run leg one with me. And he was immense. He'd done so little training for it, but he does so much in the mountains anyway, that he was just solid on the uphill, and it was just lovely to have my brother there as part of that. And I think he's looking at the Bob Graham. I'm sure he's going to do it at some point. I'd love to support him on that, but also I love the idea of me and him attempting the paddy together, because I think our rounds, Bob and Mark's and mine and Tano's, are a bit unusual. I think quite often you only have a solo contender. But I think having a double makes it really nice, and to be able to share that with a mate, it's something that Tano and I, we don't see each other very much. We live at opposite ends of the country, but when we do, we definitely share that kind of special bond from the time that we had together. So it's wonderful to have my brother there as part of it, but as well for the family. It was about fundraising. It was this ridiculous long shot for me. I never believed that I could do it. As I said, I thought my chances of success were about 10%, and that gradually increased. In the final weeks, I started to feel like I could potentially do it, but it was a real unknown. Dada. Oh, hello, Baba. Yeah, I'm talking. Did I wake up? Did I interrupt your nap? I'm sorry, Baba. So I'm going to stop this now because me. What is Dada doing? I'm woken you up. Hola. So this is Harvey, and that's very nice to get Harvey onto the podcast. So I'm going to pause it here and continue my thoughts around family shortly. Hello, Baba. Okay. Yeah, the truck's broke. Okay, the truck's broke, so I'm going to fix the truck. Speak to you soon, guys. So I'm sat here on Mother's Day. And it's a very different Mother's Day for us this year. Very sad time. Unfortunately, Linda was diagnosed with secondary cancers earlier this year, and she passed away a couple of weeks ago. It was the funeral earlier this week, and that was a real celebration of Linda's life. The turnout was incredible, and a special shout out has to go to our key workers, Linda's colleagues at Asda, who by the end of the night were dancing on tables to all of Linda's favourite songs with her daughters. So that really was a special celebration of her. But I just wanted to record my own tribute to Linda, partly because she absolutely loved being famous for things, and I think to be able to talk about her on the forum of the podcast, that's an opportunity that I just can't miss. So Linda was. There's a lot of wonderful things that I could talk about with Linda. She was a fantastic mother-in-law to me. Really welcoming, really loving and caring, and just so incredibly down to earth. And was so talented in certain areas. She was an incredible knitter. Harvey was decked out in some of the best knitted kit, knitted hats. We've got lovely pictures of him as a newborn in a hungry caterpillar outfit and a penguin outfit that Linda would just sit there and these incredible creations would just emerge. I don't know how she did it, but she was fantastic at knitting. She was fantastic at baking as well. So fantastic. That she inspired her daughter Jodie to set up a business, Tadar Cakes, I think the talent can be shown in her award-winning lemon drizzle cake, and it really was an exceptional lemon drizzle. She won the award one year. The second year, she didn't win the award, and we can only, as a family, assume that dark forces were at work. That there was something odd going on with the judging panel that year, and that's certainly what Linda was keen to drum into us. So the cakes, the knitting, but she did love being famous, and she would put herself and put Carly in front of, there was this wonderful time when she pushed Carly in front of a local news crew who were reporting on a particular story, and so Carly found herself talking about the withdrawal of certain IVF treatment in Wales. So it's not I'll be honest, it's not a topic that Carly knows that much about, but Linda was there nodding along to Carly's insightful comment. She did want to be on Bargain Hunt, but that's the last time I'm going to mention that programme's name, because it's now a banned term in this house, because Linda and Carly, despite interviewing, video interviewing, and then going to an interview day for that programme, for some reason they were overlooked as participants. And again, we can only assume that some kind of dark forces were at play. But yeah, so I just wanted to help Linda be famous. Her fame is going to live on in our family, for the rest of our lives. But just wanted to put that out there on Mother's Day. We love you, Linda. Happy Mother's Day.
I think our Bob Graham get-together this summer is unlikely to happen. It was supposed to be in Scotland, but we'll have to wait for the Highlands. So, I think that's it. Our Bob Graham sounds have been heard. Thank you for listening to them. Let's get back to that Bob Graham Zooms quiz.
Scafell Pike in metres is 978.
Yay!
Got that one. How long did it take Kilian to summit Skidor? It was C, 51 minutes. The Ricky Gates Bob Graham round next. The answer was D, 23 hours, 48 minutes.
Well done if you got all three. By the way, I'm enjoying Ricky Gates' book, Cross Country, all about his run across America. Heartily recommended. I'm about a third of the way through, into the Ozarks now. He was a good podcast guest and he's a good author, and the pictures are amazing, really good. So stay safe, tell people if you've enjoyed the podcast and share it around, and hope you get running, hope we all get running again soon. Thanks for listening, bye.
Sitting in the park, passing time, watching the stars with a bottle of wine. Notice something in your smile. We head off into town, just in time for kicking out. Call a friend, there was no reply. Never a bow, but it was worth a try. So we go rolling down the London road, for we know it's not the best way home. Sit on the corner staring at our feet, sick to my guts for the love of you. The garage up ahead closed down, petrol smell still hangs around, but you don't like it.